Everybody, thank you for coming. We're going to get started here in just a minute. Remember, we're going to have 2 calls to the public. The first call is for items that are on the agenda. The second call is for whatever else. Please be respectful, no personal attacks. All right, the time now is 7 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order. Please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, may I have roll call, please?
Zach Tucker?
Here.
Kurt Schulze?
Here.
Jennifer Eden?
Here.
Mike Cunningham?
Here.
David Walker?
Here.
Herman Ferguson?
Here.
Pam Moughler? Here.
All right. We've got to add some things to the agenda since we put it out so early due to vacations and election and all that. Item number 7 would be reappoint Steve Krause to the Planning Commission. Item number 8 is to reappoint Garrett Ladd to the Planning Commission. Item number 9 is to appoint Jeff Scott to the ZBA. Item number 10 is the assessor consultant contract. And item number 11 is townhouse repairs.
Unfair.
Can you back up and can you just a little slower? Okay, thanks.
Item number 7.
Got it.
Item number 8. Reappoint Garrett Ladd to the PC.
Okay.
Item number 9. Appoint Jeff Scott to the ZBA. Item number 10. The assessor consultant contract. Item number 11, townhouse repairs.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support. Been motioned and supported to approve the agenda as presented, or as amended. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next is approval of the consent agenda. The regular board meeting minutes from July 16, 2024, treasurer's report, June 30th, 2024, clerk's warrants and bills, August 6, 2024.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Meeting minutes have errors in them. Huge.
Communications, we have none. So we'll move on to public comments. Please come to the front when you're called upon, raise your hand. You'll be given 3 minutes, and it's for agenda items.
Huh?
Sorry.
I'm going to do my best to read fast, but in light of adding the townhouse to the agenda tonight, there's just some information I want you to have. So thanks for taking a minute to add it to the agenda. Our townhouse team is prioritizing funds to protect our mutual investment by moving water away from the foundation through proper grading and restoring the structure itself first. The building does not have gutters, and as a result, water is beginning to pool around the perimeter of the foundation. And for that reason, our top priority is to get the finish grading done, which includes installing rock beds to mitigate the water runoff and cutting the partial curb that runs parallel to the north side of the building. This necessary to get proper grading installed and will not impact the garage approach. Upon completion of structural restoration this fall, we plan to use additional funds to construct the front porch. The design and materials we are recommending to the board for consideration represent the best of low cost, low maintenance, and historical relevance, because we hope to reapply for designation with the state. The decking and stairs would be composite material, while the balusters and railing would be cedar. I want to also address just a few questions that were recently brought to my attention regarding the porch. I did confer with Patrick at the Livingston County Building Department that the porch and ramp do not need to be completed at the same time. The ADA compliant ramp does need to be completed before we apply for occupancy. There's no reason one cannot be done before the other, according to the building department. And regarding the architect stamp, the drawings and proposal for the porch were submitted in May of '24, and they do not yet include an architect stamp. We do have an architect reviewing the drawings and stamp them before they move forward to the county. The county requires this step as well as approved plans, inspections, and code requirements, all of which we plan to comply with fully. We're asking the township board to approve the plan for the materials and design contingent upon architectural review and approval. We did not want to take the step of paying an architect to review and stamp those drawings without our township board first approving our plan and materials. So I didn't want to do that backwards and then have to come back again. So Randy Melville's here, who did those drawings for us. So if the board has any questions during discussion for him, I know the copy was a little like that the zoning department scanned in. So if you have any questions, he's here tonight. And if you have any questions with me, I'll be here as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Marcy?
Marcy Houston. I have a issue with the assessor contract, and I want to know why Tyrone Township needs 3 assessors. And it was my understanding before I left as clerk that we were getting Alexa up to speed so that we didn't have to keep paying Bruce, master assessor. She's getting paid well enough to be the assessor, and she has the MAAO assessor certification, so she's able to assess the, to certify the tax roll. And I don't know why we still need to keep Bruce on. We paid him as of July 18th, over $7,500. I don't even know if he has a current contract. I know that in the past they expired the end of May. I don't know whether he had a new contract or not, or whether he's been working without a contract. There are lots of resources available to assessors. There's MTA, there's other treasurers, there's the county, there's the state, so I don't know why we have to pay another assessor to help her do the job when she's been here 5 or 6 years already. She should already be at the speed where she can do it.
Thank you. Yes, Scott.
Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. All right. We got 4 board members on the board of review. We can live with 3 till the new board comes in. We can appoint them then. You guys have been voted out. Department of Public Works. Mike, you're the chairman of that board. You came here and voted. You didn't disclose that you were the chairman of the Public Works. But we're going to let you, behind closed doors, do this contract with Livingston County for our use. Now, this needs to be put on hold, guys. This is not right. I think we have a legal obligation to know that he was the chairman of that board. All right, no contract with Michael Fox for this new recording. You guys haven't fixed it up till now, and we got the equipment. We just need somebody with a brain in here that knows how to turn it on. The 2024 fall conference can be done online. It's $399. What's it going to cost us for room and board and gas for Jennifer to get here? They're offering it online. The wage study should be done by the new planning, the new board, I'm sorry. And this thing now, I knew about it for some time, with tax assessor, this is ridiculous, she should be fired and get a new one. 3 people doing this job since 23, from what I understand, from what I'm hearing through the grapevine. 3 people and she's making what, $40-something an hour, with 70, how much is she making? And she can't do the job? Come on, what's wrong? People out there paying taxes. We're getting screwed, 3 people. This stuff's been going behind. This is the transparency. There's no transparency. Board members, you've been letting him do this for years. You've allowed him. You gave him carte blanche. And I don't know if you know what's going on, but if you did, shame on you. Shame on you. Everything should be stopped. In fact, he should be asked to resign. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. 3 people. What are we paying? I keep getting my taxes raised. I'm getting tired of it. Oh, I'm not? It didn't go up this year? Want to read my tax bill? It's ridiculous, Mike.
Smoking away.
There's no clapping, there's public comment.
There.
Scott? You fine?
Oh,
Please be respectful.
Oh, like you are?
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Who's next? Yes, Steve.
Hey, Austin Stanley, I live on Gordon Road, so that's clear. First of all, Steve Cross does not need to be reappointed, he needs to be fired or removed. And
Yes.
any board member that has been going against the public interest, blatantly violating rights, will be held accountable. That will happen. You cannot dictate rules on how people speak. You get your 3 minutes. I just started watching part of the planning commission on my way here because it was recorded. I did make a phone call about the last board meeting because it wasn't live streamed or recorded, and we pushed the button, but it didn't record. That was the answer I got. We pushed the button, but it didn't record. We're looking for it. We're contacting IT department, the people we pay. Baloney. It wasn't broadcast, wasn't recorded intentionally. It's my opinion. That should probably still be FOIA requested so it can be, a legal statement at least. But yeah, regarding the blatant rule and the violation of rights that I've seen over and over again, I don't know, I got a minute and 45 seconds. What can I do to get a fine, Mike? If I turn my back on you and speak to these people, would you give me a fine? Please,
Clap.
do it.
Try clapping.
How much is the fine, by the way? $100, couple $100? Fine? We can take that to court. How much is the fine? Anybody want to get fined for their speech? And how absurd that is?
You're good, no sheriff for today.
Please address the board.
Fine me. Please. I'm begging you.
Where is the sheriff?
I did contact the prosecutor's office about the last meeting because you shut down public comment and didn't allow anybody else to speak because there was some confusion about who you were calling on. Ridiculous. You should be held accountable for that. And any board member, that's why I asked, that voted to adjourn that meeting should be held accountable.
Yeah.
You blatantly violated the rights of every member that member of the public that wanted to speak at that meeting. My only comment was going to be about the recording. I didn't get a chance to say it. Because before I knew it, oh, everybody get out of here. You're kicked out. We got business to do. On our own, I guess. I don't know. You don't have to do it in public. That's what it seems like. It's really disappointing. And it's really insulting to treat the public this way. Whether you like things that are said or not.
Oh, Terry thinks it's funny.
No, I don't.
No?
It is.
I'm the dumb person. I'm the dumb one who pressed the button and it didn't.
Oh, this is my
stop.
3 minutes.
Thank you.
Doesn't matter.
But
Somebody's got
thank
to-
you.
She gets to talk when she.
Every other meeting gets recorded, but that one wasn't. Not the answer I got at first.
Anyone else? Being none, we'll move on.
Hang on.
My name's Jeanette, I'm a Tyrone Township resident. The meeting minutes that you just approved have errors in them. And I've always wondered, why do you put that at the front of the meeting? Because we don't get a chance to comment on it.
and adding another 5 agenda items tonight, unfair. And you know what, Mr. Supervisor, it'd be nice if you could look at the people when they're speaking. That is unfair to put all those agenda items on there and not allow us time to speak on them. I emailed you all after the meeting. Here's the video right here. I offered to give this to you guys. Did I get an answer? No, I didn't. So you would know if you had the meeting that your minutes are wrong. And what you did, they don't reflect what actually happened. And I won't even go over all the errors here, but the minutes don't tell why what the suggested amendments were. It should say that Trustee Ferguson wanted to discuss Planning Commissioner Kevin Ross's online harassment of residents, and that Trustee David Walker wanted to add a motion to censure a trustee. We all know who that trustee is, and of course he voted no to have that discussion. Both of those amendments were serious, and perhaps if you had discussed them and dealt with them properly, we wouldn't have continued to be harassed online after that meeting. And I have a serious question about the 2 females on this board about why they voted not to discuss these items. One of these discussions had to do with a male trustee saying vile and physically threatening things about a female resident, but you 2 ladies don't want to talk about that and make sure it doesn't happen again. You can't stand up for the female residents of this township. Shame on you. The minutes also don't tell about the voter confusion. Trustee Walker requested a roll call for the vote to amend the agenda, which you went over, but what's important is to know when he called it. He called it right during the consent agenda vote. And that's where the board was going to approve, was trying to approve 3 items, including the clerk's warrants and bills. So you went back and dealt with that amendment, the roll call, but then you never came back and finished the consent agenda. So know this, for that meeting, the clerk's warrants and bills for June were never approved. The minutes for the regular board meetings, July 16th, was never approved. And the treasurer's report for June 30th to the clerk's, I'm sorry, I think I had that mixed up, but those were never approved either. None of them were approved. So you need to go back and look at, here, look, I got the meeting right here. And it's on the watch group, you can watch it there. But you guys got it wrong, and you approved knowingly. You're approving. If you don't recall this tonight, you were allowing a public document, a government document, to be put out there to the people, and you're saying it's true when it's not. It's false. So you need to do something. Jennifer and Pam, you're still on the board. You need to stand up, and stand up now.
Yes.
I just have a quick one on the agenda as well. It reflects that the second public comment, there were a few public comments, which seems to be a boilerplated thing. I think every one of you know that you shut the meeting down before any public comments could take place.
Scott did, and then you.
This is another error, so I'm pointing it out as well. Thank you, Scott. But see, you don't even read the things that you're trying to approve. This is our problem with you. This is bad. It's not good. So I don't understand how you can just blindly do these things and say everything's okay when it's not okay. All right? So the other thing is that with regard to the town hall, the old town hall repairs, we had Treasurer Eden several meetings ago talk about how much we made in new investments of over $300,000 to the taxpayers. Why wouldn't we consider paying for all sorts of things out of that investment money, like fixing up the old townhouse, rather than putting the burden on the Historical Society and putting the burden on grants and grant writers and putting the burden on resident donations? It's absolutely ridiculous. Everything that someone suggests does not have to mean you're going to raise taxes for the residents. It's disgusting, but you guys don't think about that because you're a maximum taxation board. You want the max tax in the bank. I saw the financial report, $14 million in our account. If you add all those things up, that's what the bottom line says. Wow, some of that could go back to the residents. That would be really nice tax cut, tax break. I won't take up the rest of my minute. Thank you.
Finds it funny though.
Dean Haas, Walnut Shores. I guess what I'd like to do is I'd ask the board member, some of you aren't getting back on the board. I'd like to at least do the right thing for the balance of your term.
Yep.
Stand up for what's right, quit rolling over.
Yep.
Do what's right for this community for a change. You're not gonna be here a long time, but you can do the right thing for the rest of your time. That's all the time I need. Thank you.
Anyone else? Being none, we'll move on to the agenda. No unfinished business, moving on to new business. Request of Cheryl Stover to appeal her fire service charges. Cheryl, are you there?
Yes.
Do you want me to be your attorney?
Yes, if it helps. No, I was driving home, I live in Linden, and I don't know anything about this township. I was just driving home, and I had a medical emergency on the side of the freeway. I pulled off, called 911, and 911 came a little later, but they showed up. I mean, the ambulance did. So they sent the fire and the police and the ambulance. This has happened to me before, about a year ago. And this time I get a bill from this township saying that you guys don't have a fire department. I'm sorry, but I don't know where I'm at when I'm passing out, and I don't know the rules of where I'm at when I don't live here. And to get a bill for $1,549 just for them to show up, they didn't do anything for me. The ambulance took me to the hospital. I live on Social Security and Medicare, so I don't have a whole lot of extra funds to throw around for. To me, I think it's an unnecessary bill because they didn't do anything. The ambulance took me to the hospital. I still got bills coming in from the hospital, and I'm under doctor's care right now. So I feel like that bill is very, very unfair, and I would like for it to either be waived or discounted or something.
Hold on a second. Board, do you have any questions for her?
You said you had Medicare?
Yes.
And you have Medicare supplement?
Yes.
Have the bills been submitted to us?
I'm sorry?
Sorry. Has the bill been submitted to the supplement or the?
Yes, and Medicare said I already talked to them, they don't cover that kind of thing.
And the supplement doesn't either?
No.
It seems odd to me.
You're talking about, Cheryl, just the fire one, that's it.
Mhm.
That's what she's referring to, fire. She
Right,
didn't
and
cover the fire.
they billed me for
For emergency
for the
services.
emergency services through the hospital. I'm getting all kinds of their
Right, and the
bills.
ambulance, I'm
But
assuming.
the insurance says they don't cover, and insurance only covers a portion of an ambulance bill. I still have a
Yeah.
copay on that. So I just feel like that bill is so unfair. I mean, for that amount of money, for them to just pull up, I mean, they didn't do anything.
Is there any chance you could give us documentation of the denial?
I already did. I gave it to whoever Mike is.
Emily has it.
I sent a letter with all my information and the bill from the hospital. And
This-
I'm being treated right now by that hospital.
This is without getting into her medical history, the situation warranted a higher priority. LCA, Livingston County Ambulance, closest one was in Brighton. That's why the fire department was called. Because it had escalated to, a higher protocol. So, that's why the fire truck had gone out and it wasn't just an EMS call.
Well, I mean, I only called EMS, so whatever you guys did, I mean, I feel like
Well,
that's
you
not.
dialed 911.
Right.
Yeah, and they dispatch.
Right.
There's a series of protocols.
And like I said, when you're passing out, then
Oh,
you're not thinking about where you're at.
Oh, yeah, we get that.
And I'm not familiar with this area, I live in Linden, and I don't know your rules as far as fire departments and whatever. I called 911 and then I get a bill for this, which I think is very unfair.
Mike, did they have any paramedics that showed up to do anything, or was just firemen? You said to Cheryl they didn't.
Well, most of the fire departments do not have paramedics. Livingston County EMS has paramedics.
What about like first responders?
Well, they're advanced CPR, and I don't know exactly what their classification is, but they're fire departments don't have paramedics, that's at EMS. EMS hires the paramedics.
All the fire department did was ask me what's going on. By the time I told them, the ambulance showed up.
All right.
They put an IV in and immediately stopped what was going on. So I just feel like that's wrong. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Well, had you not been breathing or your heart had stopped, they would have been, providing those efforts based on the protocol, but fortunately that didn't happen.
There was no alcohol.
However, we have this issue and that's why the board has to make this decision. So, any other questions for her?
No, but I want to make sure that Cheryl understands why we have this in place. We don't have our own fire in place.
Right, I've been told that multiple times.
And if you do not pay this bill, or we waive it, or a portion of it, you do understand that our residents pay that bill. Because the bill has to be paid by the
Again,
township.
I don't know your rules here, and I'm sorry if other people pay it, but I feel like that's not on me. I didn't choose to go out in this county and this township.
Right. I just want to make sure you understand that mechanism, why it's.
I do,
As unfair as it may be, it's a mechanism we have to have in place in order to have those services.
I've been told multiple times.
I'll make the motion that we reduce the charge by 1.5.
I support it.
It's been motioned and supported to reduce the fire run charge in half. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Aye. Motion carries, so they're gonna reduce that. If you wanna make payments, then, call Emily and we'll get that set up.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Next is the request of Livingston County to purchase sewer REUs. This is something we've talked about in a previous meeting. This is the official request. However, there is one thing that needs to be added.
Before you continue, now we said to reduce that?
Yes,
I have.
I have. Okay, so back to the RUs. One of the things that, was sent over was a request to purchase RUs, which was asked for by the board when Livingston County, Drain Commissioner's Office of Livingston County was getting ready to purchase these. We have to make sure that we are compliant with the master operating agreements of both Tyrone Township and Heartland Township. And there is a revision to the one that was sent over. The line item is all associated billing of RUs and the utilization of RUs after purchases would be routed through Heartland Township as the SRS is a customer of Heartland Township. So basically what it's saying is that essentially Heartland will be purchasing the RUs and selling them in a roundabout way to Livingston County because of their master operating agreements. It's the same way, it just has to go through them. Just like we don't allow any other entity to sell RUs in our township, neither does Heartland. So the request is to purchase 264 RUs. And
What price?
Out of a net total of.
I can figure it out real quick.
And what's the price?
It'll be 11,500.
11,500 a piece. That was that bulk price that we approved.
And what was it going to be?
For the negotiation.
For $3,036,000.
I don't think that was my question.
Oh, I'm
That was an
sorry.
answer to a question, but I don't think that was my question. how many, the 264 is how many RUs?
We have over 7,000.
Okay, that was my question.
Roughly about 1,800 being utilized.
Okay.
Oh,
You just wanna make that motion.
well, we can make the motion. I think the sale of the RUs is a great idea. We owe, as everybody knows, we owe the general fund 2.5 million. The sewer fund does rather. And I believe it would be a good idea that when we get these funds, or the sale of this, the 3 million, that we allocate 2,500,000 back to the general fund and allocate that to the road fund.
I think so. But I'm not sure. That's for the new board.
So did you wanna make a motion for that?
I can make a motion.
Don't do it.
I'll second.
Quiet, please. Please.
I'm making a motion to sell 264 RUs. From the sale of that money, 2.5 will go to the general fund and be allocated to the road fund.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the REU sales with 2.5 million being allocated back to the general fund and then allocated to the road fund. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Yay.
Hey,
Okay, motion still carries.
Oh my God.
Next is appointment of Kim Veenstra to Board of Review to complete Eugene Rogers' term. As you know, Gene has served this community 40-something years on the Board of Review, and he is well into his retirement years and is moving into a different living style, and he's leaving the township, so he resigned. And Kim Veenstra was our alternate on the Board of Review, and she not only has worked as a licensed real estate agent, but also as a builder. She brings lots of value in that board, so I would go ahead and ask that the board resolve to appoint Kim Veenstra to the Board of Review.
is she here tonight?
No, she's not.
This term that would be filled ends on December 31st of this year. Am I right about that?
Correct.
Resolve to make the appointment.
Support.
It's been resolved and supported to appoint Kim Veenstra to the Board of Review to complete Eugene Rogers' term. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Herman Ferguson,
Yes.
David Walker,
Yes.
Zach Tucker,
Yes.
Kurt Schulze,
Yes.
Jennifer Eden,
Yes.
Mike Cunningham,
Yes.
Pam Moughler, yes.
So that motion carries.
Hey, Mike, I just had one question, or not question, but with Gene Rogers serving for, 47 years, can we give him like a certificate or just some appreciation to show that we appreciate what he did?
Well, anybody can. We can't use township funds to do that,
Okay.
but a board as a whole, or you could.
Volunteer out of your ways.
I'm just saying, I mean, he served for 47 years.
Right.
I'm sure you could do something. You can get him a placard.
Yeah.
Similar letter of appreciation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Folks, please come to order. Thank you. Next, proposal from Michael Fox to record and stream public meetings. Jennifer?
Okay, so as we all know, the recording did not work last time. We are not IT people. We try our hardest. Excuse me, I'm speaking.
Yeah.
We try, we are not required by state law to videotape it. We're not, we just do it because we want to be complacent. So I talked to, sorry, I can't scroll. Transparent. I want, Michael Fox is our vet coordinator, pay coordinator. And he is offered to help us with this meeting and the streaming. As you can see in the packet, he's offering to do $50 per meeting, promote, set up and make sure everything's on. He can hit record on his end remotely, not being on site. Compensation for that would be $50. If the equipment isn't working, he'll check it during the day. If it's not working, let's say 4 o'clock, he'll come in here, figure it out, and he would charge us $75 for doing so. And if there's a huge meeting or something that we really want his attendance to make sure everything runs smoothly, it's $150. He's not obligated, or he cannot commit to every single meeting, every planning commission meeting. I'll remind the board again that we do not have to do this, we do not have to be there. So to me, this is an all or nothing.
I'll do it for
We
free.
pay somebody to do this, to run that equipment. He's experienced, he's back there. If you want to bring him up and ask him questions. He's experienced with it, he knows how to run it. And he's IT, so we're not. Clearly. So,
We're just doing it.
I think it's-
Meetings.
yes, meeting to meeting, you know, I think we either do it or we just don't stream them at all and we just stop that service and not have it.
No, I think we should continue.
I do too.
And I think this is.
And I think that's a
$50.
small price to pay to,
It's not doing anything.
I mean, because you know, I understand the residents' frustration when our system isn't working and it's not videoing, but we're not IT and we don't claim to be, so we do the best that we can and, you know, if equipment fails, it's,
So there's nothing time bound in this, I'm trying to figure out,
there's nothing what?
there's nothing time bound in this?
No,
There's
no time bound.
Okay.
We do it as long as we want. If you like, you can come up and answer any questions.
Ask them what's different. What he's gonna do that's different.
Is he using our equipment or does he have his?
No, it's our screen.
What's he gonna do? He's gonna tell you to.
Quiet,
push the
please.
button.
So remotely, he can go in and look and make sure it's working and hit the record button, play button, whatever. He can do that remotely. We did that option so it's cheaper if the equipment is up and running. If not, if he has to come in here, then of course he's gonna charge us as such.
So,
Gives us
Call
a
him up
little
and
peace of
have
mind
him
that we're
see it.
can I get a motion? What do you think? I'll make a motion that we approve the proposal from Michael Fox to record and stream the public meetings.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the proposal from Michael Fox to record and stream public meetings. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Well, okay, that motion carries. Request of treasurer to attend the MMTA Fall Conference.
This is the fall conference that I always attend. It is up north. It is available streaming, as Scott pointed out. Streaming, I don't know if anybody's ever taken a class, 8 to 10 hours staring at a screen. It's not very easy to do.
We all have.
Just the school children.
As I have said before,
Folks, quiet.
my training is in my budget.
Plus the Canada trip.
Canada,
Quiet, folks. You had your public comment, you'll have another one.
does the board have any questions?
No, I'll make a motion
Two.
for Jennifer to attend the MMTA Fall Conference.
Support.
It's Been motioned and supported for the treasurer to attend the MMTA Fall Conference. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Next, wage, salary study, and policy discussion. There's been a lot that's happened with our economy, and we are noticing that we are quite behind as far as other townships in pay for many of our key positions. And then we were, talking about, how do we do this? And, Jennifer, Pam, and I have come to the conclusion that probably best if we sought an outside firm to do a fair and adequate salary assessment, and also set some caps for the position. This is the salary range. This is the minimum salary range for that position. This is the maximum salary range. Of course, the way things are happening on a federal level, that you might have to revisit that thing every 4 years or so, just to make sure that we're keeping up with things. I know there's a lot of companies out there that probably will just have to put this out to a bid or something, and they do it that way. We currently have a few employees that have asked for things, and I said, let us talk about doing this, and that's kind of where we're at with it. So I think it's pretty solid to do it that way.
So we're just gonna have a company look at it, Mike, and just assess it and see, okay?
Right. So they'll take a look at what the employees do, what their job duties are.
Can we back up? You mean you're gonna put on an RFP to have somebody do it? You're not asking for approval to hire somebody?
Right.
Okay.
Because my question was what the cost was.
Yeah, with the RFP. That's
So,
Okay. So is that your motion?
To put out the RFP?
Actually, you don't even have to make a motion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you
You don't have to
really.
do anything else. Okay, moving on to item number 7. Reappoint Steve Kraus to the PC. That's a 3-year term.
No.
Wyatt?
No. We're toxic audience. New board.
Does anybody want to make a motion?
I mean, we support Steve as extending his position as the chair for the planning commission.
Well, we can't do it. We can only appoint him. The PC, you know that. The PC makes that, so.
The PC will decide that. Okay, so I move we reappoint Steve to the.
I think that's a resolution, so you resolve.
Is it a resolution?
No, it's not. Okay, it's not. Okay. It's a motion. I'll support it. It's been motioned and supported to reappoint Steve Kraus to the Planning Commission for a 3-year term. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Still motion carries.
Wow.
Moving on to item number 8, reappoint Garrett Ladd to the PC to a 3-year term.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to reappoint Garrett Ladd to the PC for a 3-year term. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion still carries. Next is appoint Jeff Scott to the ZBA.
Easy.
Don't know if any of you have met Jeff. Jeff is a resident of the township. He has a large farm off of Partial. He's also running for the Hartford School Board, and has been very interested in wanting to do something at the township as well for quite some time. I met him through West Nocatiri a few years back, and I think he would be outstanding on our zoning board of appeals. He also has a background in real estate as well.
Is he here?
he here tonight?
No.
What I'd like to do is ask Greg Carnes, who's in charge of that, if he would like to have him on there. That's what I'd like to get input, since he's not here to ask him questions, I'd like to ask Greg.
Yeah.
If he could come up and ask some questions, if he knows him, if he want him, I don't know. If not, I can't make anything, no?
I don't know.
Okay.
Nobody knows him but Mike.
Seems to be a nice guy. Hasn't been any meetings, no.
Excuse me, folks, please be quiet. Anybody gonna make a motion?
Wow.
I move we
Of course you
appoint Jeff Scott to the CBA.
I'll support that. It's been motion and supported to appoint Jeff Scott to the zoning board of appeals for a 3-year term.
Yeah.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Of course.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Better do a roll
Request a
call.
roll call, please.
Yep. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Kurt Ferguson,
Pam,
No.
change your mind.
David Walker,
Nay.
Mike Cunningham,
Yes.
Jennifer Eden,
Yes.
Based on what?
Kurt Schulze,
Yes.
Zach Tucker,
Nay.
Pam Moughler,
Do it, Pam.
yes.
Oh my God. Wow.
Please be quiet. Thank you. Next is the assessor consultant contract. We've had Bruce on a contract, as we, like anything else, you know, we have, consultants in planning and zoning, we have consultants for engineering, we have a contract for, our accountants, and Bruce's contract is expired, and we need to keep him on a very small, limited role, much smaller than his previous contract, and that's what this new contract will do. Is he's still available to us, it's just at a lower rate, and, you know, he's been assessing for 40-something years. He's a Michigan master assessor, and, you know, I think it's very valuable that we you know, still have him available to us when we have some questions and things that arise that may require his expertise.
Did the township attorney look over this contract?
No.
My inclination would probably have him okay it before we vote on it.
Yep.
But
We can also, do a contingent on that.
Yeah, we could do it.
But there was one thing that needed to be changed on it though. Let's see, where's my, there it is. Section number 8, there, I'm sorry, section 6, where it says subcontractors are to be deemed. No, they're not to be deemed employees, so not needed to be inserted.
So can I ask, what exactly does Bruce provide in terms of discussion and guidance for our assessor?
Well, anytime that, actually, Alexa, would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, he actually provides a lot of guidance for me with legal descriptions, primarily personal property. It's very, like, a few times a year that I actually need him to physically be here, but he does answer my questions on the phone multiple times a week. But yeah, there are a couple times a year where it just makes sense for him to come in and assist.
Okay, thank you.
Plus, he was the assessor here for like over 30 years, so he knows this township really well.
Item 8, there was no item 8.
The document you said.
Yes. You know how sometimes your word just go ahead and another line in your.
Okay, push that.
Hit the, yep, hit the
Okay.
button.
I'd recommend you not entertain this until it's been reviewed by council. At a minimum.
Would a if we go ahead and approve it and then, with the contingency that it be reviewed by legal counsel?
Recommended it.
I think it's similar to the contract that you used for the issue.
Very similar. In fact, that's where a lot of that language is.
Is he under contract currently?
No.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the contract with the stipulation that the attorney review it prior to it being signed and make any corrections or amendments needed.
Support.
It's been motioned and sorted to approve the contract with the aforementioned stipulation.
Can I ask one other question? Is there a time, this is basically just could be terminated at will, am I correct about that?
It's got a 30-day cancellation provision.
Okay.
It's item 2. Don't quote me.
That's what I thought.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
It's a one-year contract, is all it is.
But there's termination for
30 weeks.
2 reasons listed are violation of any terms of the agreement. The second one is any act exposing the other party to liability to third parties for personal injuries or damage to property, real or personal.
Yeah, I'll still interject my objecting. I think it should be reviewed by council before we approve it. I feel much more technical.
I agree.
Whether you've made the case to justify hiring him or not, but even before you get to that point, I would have this vetted by council first.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
To what?
Aye. The contract with Bruce. It was moved and supported with the stipulation that it will be reviewed and corrected by the attorney before it gets signed. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Request a roll call.
Yep, do that please.
Herman Ferguson,
Nay.
David Walker,
Nay.
Pam Moughler, nay. Mike Cunningham,
Yes.
Jennifer Eden,
Yes.
Kurt Schulze,
Yes.
Zach Tucker.
Nay.
Okay. And item number 11 is the townhouse.
Go to the ground, didn't you?
Quiet, please. Item number 11 is the townhouse repairs. Has everybody seen them?
I have to, it's not the right phrase. Anyhow, I can't participate in the discussion or vote because of a conflict of interest.
Okay,
So I have to recuse myself, so I'm gonna step
we'll let you in.
outside. You want me outside or do you want me to?
Wherever you can work.
Sent to the principal's office.
Is the townhouse repairs. It has to do with the new porch and steps, putting the rock around the building and doing some concrete cutting for drainage. That's all gonna be covered by the Historical Society. I don't see any need to hold it up. The only question that I had, which was answered by Sarah, was regarding the occupancy and having ADA compliance. So that will be, before we get a CMO, the ADA ramp will have to be installed, so.
Make a motion, Mike, approve it.
We're essentially just authorizing access, right, and we're not paying for any of this.
Right, we're just, the motion, I guess, should be authorizing the Historical Society to go ahead and pay for the town, the benches
Do we need a contingency on the architectural seal? I don't wanna overcomplicate it, but.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you wanna amend your motion for that?
To make sure the
Would
architect.
you like me to state it for you?
Yes, please.
So we would go ahead and approve the townhouse repairs that were presented with the stipulation that architectural plans be drawn up, signed with a sealed stamp before the repairs are done.
We don't have that right now, Sarah.
We just need the stamp on the drawing. We have an architect that's reviewing it currently.
Okay.
I'll support that motion.
Okay, it's been motioned and supported for the townhouse repairs with the architectural drawings. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Somebody want to let Mr. Walker back in? Okay, let's do that.
Not David.
Still not blocking the exit.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
He's probably on the first.
Probably halfway over by now.
That's about the shot.
We got pretty far in a very short time. Good thing we finished as quickly as we did. Might not be coming back. Okay, that does it for new business. We have no miscellaneous business. Final public remarks.
Yeah, Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. I don't care who they are. If they've been on the job for 3 years, they should know the job. If it's $40 an hour, I don't know what it is. The pay scale doesn't reflect the knowledge. Way overpaid. Got an assistant, we got to pay, what are we paying a year, totally combined, if we're gonna keep our reimbursed? It's not right for the taxpayers. And this is the stuff that's going on, that's driving me nuts, driving a lot of people nuts. I just don't get it, it just, you know, you guys, we know you overinflated the budget. That's what you did, you just overplayed the budget, and you go ahead and just keep on, give raises and raises and raises. And here's another thing, we paid thousands of dollars for the sound system. The last planning meeting, we couldn't even hear the lawyer. The lawyer's on Zoom. As important as this is to us for this solar stuff, the lawyer couldn't even be here. It's a joke. It's a joke, I'm sorry. This is all from, you guys are in charge. Especially you three, you know. I don't know who's in charge of her bringing her in, but shame on you. I mean, come on, we couldn't even hear nothing. We paid thousands for the sound system. It's ridiculous. You can't get nothing done. Nothing's fixed. It's been like this forever. And then you want to hire somebody? I didn't need to pick anybody out over the video. It's just we got equipment. And it wasn't broken. No one turned it on. It's like you edited it. You guys edited stuff out before. You've edited it out. We caught Jenna had it on tape, and we watched the tape. It was edited out. It's conveniently turn it on, turn it off. We know. And I don't like the fact someone do it remotely, and I don't think we need to do anybody at all. It's just spend more money, spend more money, spend more money. It's just crazy. And you know, Pam, Jennifer, you're still gonna be here. You guys, I mean, I'm disappointed you passed. I mean, the man was like chairman on the board, and we didn't even know about it. That's a hell of a conflict of interest. That had to be disclosed. I guess laws don't mean nothing anymore. The people knowing things don't mean anything anymore. And then we bring things up, they're getting attacked by the darn employees and y'all. Listen, I don't want to attack them. I want transparency. That's all I want. And I'm tired of people, assistants having assistants. And go hire somebody because you like them because they were a waitress at a restaurant. So you hire her and put her in an office. Ugh. God.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Scott. That was the basis of my, I've managed 478 people around the world, directors and staff in about 70 countries. I've hired tons of contractors. I can't even count how many contractors I've hired and had to put in place. But I can tell you one thing. You guys are so contractor dependent, you don't want to learn anything yourself. You abdicate your brain when you only say, and by the way, the reason I'm saying this is a personal experience with the whole master planning process. It's not that difficult. You read it, you're supposed to be really smart people. The planning people are supposed to are supposed to be really, really smart too. If you're not bringing in the smart residents, then, and you just abdicate everything to contractors, then people don't learn. And when you have staff who've been here for multiple years, the way they learn is you take away the contractor, and now when they're faced with a particular thing that they haven't seen before, then they can leverage other resources that we have, maybe a county assessor or somebody else. That's how we learn. But when you always keep a contractor on staff, guess what? You stop learning yourself. That's my experience for years of managing people around the world. Contractors are temporary. They're fine for a particular issue, but they're not fine for long-term support. You've got to allow the people to learn. And the staff here needs to step up and learn what needs to be done so we don't have to have contractors. The next thing I'd like to say is that you guys are spending money like there's no economic downturn right now. Do you understand that? Every business, including my own Fortune 500 company, is cutting people, reducing wage and assets, cutting. Did I mention cutting? Reducing. Except you guys want to hire more people. Let's bring in more contractors. Let's give everybody raises. Like you're so insensitive to the fact that there's an economic issue, that food is costing more at everybody's table. You don't understand that. You're completely numb to the fact that we have a real hardship in this community and this state and this county and this country. I've never seen any discussion around tax relief during a difficult time like this. No, you don't. Because you don't care. That's what it tells the residents. You don't care. You just want to keep taxing and keep spending more money. You could start by taking that 1% administrative tax off.
It's called burning up the budget. Burn it up, it's gonna run out. That's how government does it. Starts at township hall. Then city. Schools do it. State does it. Burn up that budget so we can raise the budget next year. We know how it works. That's why you guys are gone. As far as the, solar debacle, it's about to go down. You got drainage issues bad. It's all swamp on the south side of Portland Road. All that field on the north side drains to the south side. What are you gonna do when we have a hailstorm and all them solar panels bust up, and who's gonna pay for the cleanup, toxic cleanup, biohazard? Subsidized by the government. Oh wait, government gets paid by the people. I'm tired of the bullshit. Because it's this same shit. And how's he gonna foot the bill to put all the solar in there? Subsidized by the government. He's gonna get a little kickback. Livingston County Police, Livingston County Fire, that fire and rescue scam you guys pulled years ago, you're still bending me over. I have insurance. I have not seen the state or sheriff run through once last month. I'm right on Wetlands Road. He's visiting some other neighborhoods.
maybe he's up in the hills of Tyrone or where the money's at, I guess. Cause I never seen him. 8 hours. 8 hours, I don't see him go down the way that road once. Something ain't right here. Do you know the sheriff down there in Livingston County? Maybe?
He knows them all.
Getting something out of that?
That's funny.
Your arrogance is always the same. And as far as the gentleman that, 47 years, you guys ought to put all your raises, get together, have a party, do something for the guy. Don't put it on us. Thank you.
Dean Haas, Walnut Shores. You know, we spent a bunch of money to put all this audio video in here. It hasn't been that long ago. Is there no warranty with it that guarantees it's gonna work accurately? And don't we have an IT department that we pay money to for doing our IT? Isn't that part of our IT? Why would we pay somebody else to come in and run equipment that we paid to have installed, that's supposed to work accurately, and we pay an IT company that's supposed to support us and all of our computer stuff? Is that not part of the computer stuff? Is it not hooked into the system? Why are we hiring somebody to record these meetings? Let's get the stuff we have fixed correctly, properly, have our IT support us, so we don't have poor people like this that are getting blamed for something that they weren't hired to do in the first place. We've hired an IT company. We pay them. Let's get them in here. Let's get this stuff fixed. Let's make it work right so that if we do have to push a button, when we push it, it works every time. If it doesn't, you get the IT department back in here to fix it right. That's what we pay them for, isn't it? That's what we have them here for, is to support us in our IT. We spend a lot of money on this equipment. Let's get it fixed right so anybody can use it, because it doesn't take a genius to do it.
No.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Again, just a reminder, this is free.
Yeah, be on
You guys are really going to allow Steve Kraus to be on the planning commission? Did any of you watch the video where he called us a toxic audience? And he lied about that no one's showing up for that second visioning session? I was there, he looked right at me and he said, basically called me a liar. And he calls us toxic, and then he says you guys are gonna be looking for, he threatens to be fired or resign. Did you watch the video, Mike? You should watch it because thousands and thousands of people have watched it. Steve Kraus doesn't want to be here. Steve Kraus hates us. And so thank you so much for passing, not recalling that, those meeting minutes. You just knowingly passed disinformation, what Mike Cunningham is always accusing the residents of doing, passing disinformation. You just did it tonight. Congratulations. The fire run charges, I just want to ask one thing about that. Why did you find it that you had to redact her address, but you didn't redact all of her medical information? All in there. So you say it's a public record, I'm sure it is, but you have the ability to redact her medical information. You left it out there for everyone. Would anyone else want to know, about her, or have everyone know about your heart condition, whether or not you have asthma, you had difficulty speaking between breaths, et cetera, et cetera? Shame on you guys for putting that out there. And by the way, what is your criteria for negotiating? What is it? I mean, I'm glad that you gave her at least half off, but what's the criteria? Nobody knows. And then again, just to clear it up with everybody, Mike Cunningham does serve on the Board of Public Works as the chairman, and we have them here tonight getting their REUs that Mike sat up there with Jennifer and they talked about, oh, this number sounds good, that number sounds good. No criteria for what they were basing it on. Came to a little decision. I want to know how much money we would have got if they had paid full price. Why didn't you recuse yourself? David Walker showed us how you recuse yourself tonight, but you didn't bother to recuse yourself. Why not? Why wouldn't you recuse yourself?
Integrity.
Jennifer and Pam, so disappointed in you. I hope the rumor's true that you don't want to work for Greg Carnes. I hope it's true. I do, and I hope you resign. I hope you do what you said, told many people that you would do.
Anyone else? Being none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Been motion and support to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting's adjourned.
You need to resign. Resign. You should too, Jennifer. It's funny, Jennifer, right? It's so funny.
Second,